Thank you very much. So, may I request ma'am to kindly bless the fresh graduates and award winners with the words of wisdom. Mrs. Vini Mahajan, please.
Mr. Sunil Munjal, Mr. Prem Gupta, and the senior leadership of DMC, Principal Dr. Puri, the Vice Principal, Medical Superintendents, the heads of department, all faculty of DMC, Dr. Singla, my colleagues from the administration, parents, families, and most important, the new Dr. Saabs. Because there are no doctors in India, right? The moment you become a doctor, you're a Dr. Saab. And that's the value that our society, our culture places upon the practice of medicine. Because you are dealing with human beings, you are directly touching lives and giving care and hope. And therefore, you are treated as special, as different. And today, as young graduates, you clearly have a very bright future, this group of Dr. Saabs, because you're not just from any ordinary institution, you're from one of the premier medical colleges of the country. And so you are blessed many times over. Blessed to have perhaps the best education that can be on offer. Blessed to be bright and hardworking, because certainly to get an MBBS seat, you had to be that. Blessed also, perhaps, to have supportive families and environments, because many of you would perhaps have benefited from parents and siblings and others in your family who would have encouraged you from the time you were babies into learning more, into learning better, and into becoming the adults that you are now become. And so, when you think of your future, and when you think of what you will do, remember that you have a head start. And if possible, remember that not everybody gets this. There are bright children who do not have the benefit of a good education, who do not have the benefit of families that they can turn to, families that supported and held them up. And if possible, keep that in your mind as you go forward. Because when you look back, maybe you will measure your success not just in terms of what you were able to achieve as a doctor or as an individual, but also by what people around you will remember you as and for, as the Alfred Nobel story told by your principal. But you have a bright future, clearly, and so many choices before you. Remember that there is sometimes a momentum that just carries you along. Society will push you towards a PG degree, right? Because we don't expect our doctors to be just MBBS doctors anymore. They have to be specialists or super specialists. And certainly this is a complex world. There is so much learning available that you do need to pick up the details, and they will push you towards further and higher education. Some of you may be pushed into going overseas. There are a lot of our children who have dreams and ambitions of going outside the country. There are also options in terms of where you want to serve. Mr. Munjal talked about serving in rural areas versus serving in the cities, of options of public service versus private corporate hospitals. And so remember that there is nothing that is inherently moving you in a particular direction. This is your life. And this is your life to choose what you want to make of it. And I want to urge you today, remember that whatever choice you make is a conscious choice that will lead you to a life of your making. Do not let anybody else push you into something that may not make you happy. Life is too precious. It is much too precious for us to just move with the tide and to go with the flow. Remember that you can make of yourself what you wish to make. And think, therefore, of what exactly excites you, what makes you happy. And there is no one answer for that. You might be very happy going abroad to the USA, to becoming a doctor there with state-of-the-art infrastructure, or even a doctor in an underserved area there, in a veterans hospital there. You may be equally happy in India, in or around your home, or maybe far away from your place of stay. You may be very happy in a corporate hospital. Nothing wrong with that. DMC, for all its non-profit character, is sometimes seen as a corporate hospital, but doing wonderfully well in terms of providing services that people value, for which they are willing to pay, for which they are charged reasonably, and where they get quality care of the highest standards. So we have some wonderful opportunities, and those span across the spectrum. You also have government hospitals, government institutions. You can be in Punjab, you can be outside Punjab. So the sky is the limit. But at the end of the day, do what makes you feel good. Because only then will you be able to put your 100% into what you're doing. I firmly believe that it really doesn't matter what route you choose. You may even choose to move away from hardcore medicine. There are so many interdisciplinary things these days that you could move into, where you could be using your knowledge of medicine, or you could be going into a new area. One of the wonderful things about today's world for youngsters is that nothing is set in stone. You take a path, you try it out, you believe it's not for you, you could move on. And there's nothing wrong with that. And every stage that you're learning, there are no failures in this life. If you choose to be in a different role, you've still learned, you've made a conscious choice, you're still a success, because there is no concept of failure and nobody can force you into that. You can choose to do a startup, you can become an entrepreneur, you can choose to join a rural hospital. So everything is open to you. And indeed, not just today, not just now, even going forward in your life, remember that all dreams are yours to dream and to live by. So find out what your dreams are, what your ambitions are, what you want to be, and be the best that you want to be. And if you choose to be in something that gives you pleasure, that gives you satisfaction, You will be the best. There is no doubt about that. But also keep in view the larger picture. I would encourage you, you may be preparing for PG, you may be preparing for USMLE, whatever. Be aware of the world around you. It is too important to not notice. See what is going on in the health sector generally. What are the issues around, you may choose to become an anatomy faculty someday, but you might still want to understand the larger picture. What is the government doing, for example, about spending on healthcare? Is that okay? Does it need a change? Do you want to step into that argument? So be aware of the world around you. There are so many things that need change in our society, in our country, in the world. There are so many things that need attention. And many of these things need the attention of some other people. But there are so many things that need the attention of all of us, each one of us. Are we aware of what is happening to human beings in terms of civil rights and liberties? What is the politics of the day? How is the economy doing? Which direction is your country going in? Where is the world headed? Remain aware of that. Because as the brightest and the best, you cannot be oblivious to your environment. How you are rated eventually as a human being will also depend on how you looked at the world and how you interacted with the world. And the world is large, but it begins with your local environment, with your family. How do you deal with your parents, with your teachers, with your siblings, with your spouses, friends, eventually your children? How are you dealing with the local community? How are you relating to your larger environment? Keep those things in view. But today is a day for celebration. So today, enjoy the moment, enjoy the day, enjoy the fact that all your teachers, all those who know you, your families are waiting to celebrate and exult because you have achieved such an important milestone. And there are so many other things still waiting, because medicine, if you choose to stay in medicine, is lifelong learning. There's never really a stop as you move from one level of knowledge to another. But then that's true for life in general. We may not recognize it. We may not have as many formal degrees or diplomas or fellowships in other areas. But the fact is, life is about lifelong learning. And it's about understanding. And it's about changing course if you need to or if you wish to. And it's about giving back to your communities, your families, giving back to this beautiful world that gave you so much, that today you are sitting here in this grand institution and you're sitting here as the new Dr. Saabs. So you have all our blessings, all of us sitting here, your teachers, your families, all of us. We will hope to see you excel in what you choose to do. And I will hope to see you happy in what you choose to do, because that is the touchstone of success. But happy in making conscious choices, happy in being alive to others, happy in maybe wiping the tear from Gandhiji's words, wiping the tear from the most disempowered. And you will do it. I'm confident you will do it. It's clear from these bright young faces here today. It's clear from the faculty who are looking on so proudly that we have a cohort, we have a young group of people who will do us proud. So go on with your lives, do yourselves proud, do your families proud, and do all of us proud as we reflect on the wonderful contribution you make going ahead. God bless you all.